Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday, the 9th of March. So, looking at these markets, before I look at the markets themselves, just looking at the data I've got available to me here in terms of what's coming out this today, even. I was going to say this week. Well, we've got some key news later this week, but all we've got this morning, I said this morning, 10 o'clock this morning, we've got the Reserve Bank of Australia. Governor Lowe speaking now. His speech is entitled "A Recovery, Investment and Monetary Policy." Now, this is at the Australian Financial Review Business Summit. Questions expected. We might see something coming through that on the Aussie, but obviously on the European currencies, etc., it shouldn't have any effect. So, looking then at the markets themselves, looking at the technicals here. Yesterday we saw a continuation and a close pretty much towards pretty much at the bottom there on the euro. Generally we expect a bit of follow on. We did this morning, but not very much so far. We do still have this daily 200. I do wonder if it will just turn around and push through there, but at the moment we're seeing a bit of bid coming through here. It's across many of the markets. When you come down the time frames, it's showing some early signs of a bit of a higher low that's come through here, which is maybe suggesting a bit more upside, but I'm just watching this carefully as we get running through this morning. It may give a much bigger move. We do have a weekly pivot right the way up there at 1972, which has got a bit of a possibility, but I'm just as I say, be careful, don't get ahead of myself at the moment. Looking at this, it could just literally just post 8 o'clock get into something here and turn completely back south, but at the moment it's showing that sort of the cracks in the downside, so it's showing there's potential upside here for now. Now that's the euro. The pound, looking at the pound there, the pound is also seeing this bounce we can see today. Yesterday it ended up a fraction, it looked like it was fractionally up on where it opened, but there was a fractional gap on the open, so down really on Friday's close, but it's summed up pretty well yesterday. I was kept on looking back at it thinking we might get a trade. We were short on the euro, which closed off later on, but I kept on looking back thinking we're getting another little trade on the pound, but did we? No. It just chopped all the way through the day, left it alone, which I was so pleased I did. At the moment, it's, as I said, it's put this higher low in. Up until that point, it really was just in that really tight old range, higher low running through. And again, at the moment, there's obviously some bullish signs with this change around. I think the pound has got a better chance of getting up further than the likes of the euro. However, doesn't mean to say it won't roll post 8 o'clock. So, a bit suspicious of the move. On both of these currencies, they might get a bit more bid. We'll see, but there's indecision in terms of it showing signs. Obviously, on the bigger scale of things, more so on the euro that it's rolling over, but on the pound, it's not rolled over quite so much. Stayed within its range, but either of them could continue to push through. Dollar yen have we finally seen? I've got to come back out here, and it's actually run into its 200, and I think I was looking for probably a bit more off this, and I may leave it at the moment. I'm still long on this position, which I entered right away down here somewhere, but looking at it, it's maybe running out of legs for now. It's quite extreme on some, and some indicators would be surely showing it as a bit overbought. And again, it's looking like, well, there's a fractional lower high, certainly a double top sort of bit of price action there, just short of its daily pivot at the moment. So again, watching this just to see what comes from it. But yep, it's certainly certainly a possibility of a bit more correction to the downside. Aussie dollar, okay, on the dailies here, it's much clearer lower high was through there on the dailies, and well, I say much clearer, it's very much like the euro in that respect. And well, again, we're seeing this sort of more bullish signal turn point that's coming through here with a higher low coming through. And again, all these markets are set up pretty similar, showing the signs of a bit of a weaker US dollar potentially. And I say potentially because this has come 8 o'clock, just after, it may all change. Canadian dollar really isn't going anywhere on a daily basis at the moment. It's again quite range bound. It's a mess. For intraday trading wise, I'll just steer clear of this, so I'll just leave that as being a mess. So let's have a look at a couple of crosses. Euro yen, not really offering too much at the moment. It's up around its highs there. The euro's been doing quite well without doing quite well against the yen, but you just see how consolidated it got last week, and well, it still has its opportunities. It still hits the target occasionally when we do take a trade, but quite range bound where it sits at the moment, and not really liking that too much. But I mean, if I get setups on it, I'll trade it. But just quick look at other pairings that people like to look at. Aussie yen. Consolidated movement here, not really going anywhere. What's the other pairing? Pound Aussie people like to look at, traders like to look at, still pushing. Pound still showing its strength over the Aussie in the main there. High lows might just be petering out a little bit. No divergence on this using this indicator, but there will be on there. There we go, just the way it's calculated. But certainly with those retracements, we was going to get something of a bit of a divergence-y sort of look. But that looks like, if anything, the pound Aussie looks like it may roll back towards its daily pivot there at 180.31. Anyway, nothing much. S&Ps. It's one of those days when you just sort of look at these markets and think, is it really going to start changing properly? And if so, it might get a bit more of a surge on at some stage. Now the S&Ps yesterday ended up back to a down day, but already we're seeing that dollar being sold. We normally see when the dollar's being sold, the S&P is doing well. This just looks really quite ugly, what I'm looking at here on the S&Ps. You see how if you draw a trend line somewhere near the top there, and then the one across the bottom, how it's been widening out. It's easy for me to say at this time in the morning. So it's got wider and wider in terms of these moves, and maybe it'll break at some stage. But it's almost like when you're flinging I don't know, something around your arm or something, and it gets sort of wider, and the moves get bigger and bigger, and it looks like at some stage, yep, it'll fly, but in which direction? At the moment, I think the odds may still be to the upside, but the fiscal stimulus seems further and further away. They keep on kicking the can at the moment, and it doesn't seem to be happening, but that might be what it needs to give it the upside. But for now, still dancing. Okay, S&P, so gold run into its monthly S1 there at 1677 yesterday. At the moment, that too is catching a bit of the bid, and again the relationship with the dollar, it's the dollar softening a little bit here, gold catching the bid again. So for now at least, and a caveat all the way through, this has got little higher lows coming through as well. Looking okay at the moment, but for me, I wouldn't really want to be a buyer unless we started getting out of this downward trend that it's sitting in, and that really means a trend break, and maybe above that 34 would look more attractive. But still, at the moment, it seems to be a shorting opportunity every time it gets back towards this 21. Right, that's all. A quick look at oil. Oil took a flyer, an attack on the Saudi oil field, gave it the last push up there. It hit on some prices, it ran up as far as $70, but Western Texas here, 67.50, just over 60. What was that? 67? Oh, 68. $68 it hit yesterday. It's continued to do okay. I've got a bearish feeler on it, but so long as it's continued to do okay, you can only trade it really one way at the moment. It didn't break for me where I was looking for this sort of break line. Yesterday I was looking at it just to see if we got a break back to its highs, but never materialized. At the moment, I'm still expecting it. I think it's just tiring, and I think it will roll at some stage, but for now can't fight the calls, fight the trend. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. There's Nothing else unless you've got something else. Someone was talking yesterday. John was talking about the if I can put it in the Chinese yuan or renminbi. It's a very highly traded currency. Now, I do apologise, John. There was more and more brokers that actually I noticed it was just a different ticker, but they are starting to put it on it. Some really wide spreads on it. I mean, 12 pips, 15 pips spreads, so it makes it much more a swing trading currency. The thing is, it is pegged to a basket, so if you're sort of looking at this, you might find at times it's, as I say, much better for the swing side. I'm looking at this on a daily basis. Yes, it might have some intraday sort of movement, but look at these. I mean, there's long periods when it's not being effectively traded. Well, you have to sort out whether that's for you or not. But certainly between 4 o'clock there and midnight each day, it seems to be off at 5 o'clock that time. It seems to be right the way through. Weird old price action here. It's Friday, but there's certainly periods when it's not tradable, and the way I'm looking at this at the moment, not looking the prettiest, but it may develop something. Of course, it's one in terms of trade volumes. There's some huge trade volumes that run through. I think it's about the 6th or 7th highest traded volume now out there. Certainly getting bigger and bigger, and no doubt will continue to do so. But it's a leave it on the side for now for me, particularly on the day trading side. Okay, I've got a 5 pip spread on my broker, but there's a lot out there with 12 pips and so, but even with 5 pips, it's not particularly attractive to me. I'm sure it will become much more attractive. Anyway, that's it for me. I wish you a great day, and I'll catch you in the morning. Bye for now.